This is dedicated to my mom, one of the toughest Italian chicks I knew. Thanks for always loving me in a way that gave me the courage and confidence to follow my dreams.
Già visto il fatto che che la chi va da me ma da adesso ucciso e lo sapevo perché una fassa della femmina come te non stavamo messi come me femmina tu si nama la femmina che storge fatte chi agnula lagrime in famiglia femmina se toglie come zucchero però stava c'erangela e se ve ne venga femmina ma se toglie che non zucchero però stava c'erangela e se ve ne venga oh femmina tu sei più bella femmina ti voglio bene e so io non ne va non ne va scurirà It's okay, Pop. You can let go. It's okay. You know what, Pop? Every once in a while when I'm in bed watching TV, I could still smell your cigar.
Angie, put the pastries on the platter for Mommy. Okay, Mom. Mom, Rosemary just took a Napoleon. Rosemary, put that back. For God's sake. Mom, Maryann took a cannoli. That's okay, she can have it. Oh, sure, everything for the baby. Maryann, while Mommy makes the coffee, go inside and sing for everybody. Come on, Tina, I'm gonna sing. Daddy. Mo, is it Daddy?
Don't worry, babe, just sing. We were like most Italian immigrant families. We're poor, humble, and with an inordinate affinity for the Blessed Virgin Mother. My pop was born in Reggio Calabria, Italy, and ended up in Fort Lee, New Jersey. He landed a job as a mason worker. It was the Italian thing to do. Mom was from Naples. She was 16 years old when they met and when they married. Pop got drafted, went to war, Mom was pregnant, and that was it. Oh, finalmente, the firstborn. It's a boy. Yes, the second coming arrived. Then it all rolled out in accordance to the Catholic Church, unplanned. Next, my sister Angie arrived, then my sister Ro, and then me. Well, I was the bump in the night baby. When Pop got up for some supersad and Mom went to the bathroom. You see, the moon and the stars must have been just right, because I was a 7-year itch. We lived in a house 500 feet from the George Washington Bridge, and Pop opened up Fort Lee's first cab company and called it Joe's Taxi. We had 2 phones in the house, one a home phone, the other a taxi phone. Now, Pop was parked around the corner at the taxi stand and had to come home every half hour to see if he had a call. You see, we didn't have any cell phones. They haven't been invented yet. So Pop gets this amazing idea. He goes to the lumberyard and he gets an old telephone pole. He comes home, plows it into the ground in the front of the house, puts a huge spotlight on top, runs a wire through the yard into the house. Now, when the taxi phone rings, Mom writes down the call, plugs in the spotlight, and Pop comes running home. Then Pop got another brilliant idea. He put a sign on the pole. It said, commuter parking, 50 cents, and attached a bell. Now, Mom was cooking and cleaning and answering the phones and taking care of us, and all of a sudden this bell would ring. She would drop everything, run outside, park the car, get a ticket, come in the house, and start all over again.
The original multitasking superwoman.
Now, my Pop
Was all caught up in this thing called tradition.
and Mom, well, let's just say she was a little more relaxed about it. You see, we, us girls, we're not allowed to date boys unless we're going to marry them. What do you want to do, huh? You want to be a Bhutan, huh? You know, where daddy coming from, we're going to do these type of things, huh? Where daddy coming from, and there's a one man, and that's it. So I'm going to tell you how my sisters got to go out on dates. It all happened because we had a new thing in the house, a CB radio. And Ma was the original wing woman. Yeah. Mom would set up a fake call and send Pop on his way. This way, the boys could come and get my sisters. When Pop got to the address, he was pissed. Nobody sees it here, huh? Oh, for Christ's sakes, Joe, you can't trust anybody these days. Pop would come home, fall asleep in the chair, and that was it. When my sisters got home from the date, my mom would send me to the window with a flashlight. While they were in the car making out with the boys, I had to flash the light on and off like a code that said, "Get your ass in the house before Daddy wakes up." I was the new spotlight. That flashlight worked so well that soon both sisters were married and my brother followed. By this time, I was 10 years old. It was just me, Mom, and Pop in the house. One day the home phone rang, and I heard Mom's tone change with each unidentified word. "Maryann, come on, we gotta get your father." She yanked me off the couch by one arm, threw me in the back of the caddy. She fishtailed it around the corner.
Jesus, she drove it like she stole it.
And I'm in the back thinking, why are we getting Pop? God, he has a car. Maybe something happened. So I sat in terror on a ride that would change my world forever. We pull down this road and there's Pop's car at the end of the street. Mom slams on the brakes, jumps out of the car, walks over to the passenger side of the cab, reaches in and grabs this lady and pulls her out by her hair. "Get out of my fucking car." When my mom got pissed, she said the word fuck better than anyone I know. Now, Mom's screaming at the top of her lungs, and Pop? Well, Pop is calm, controlled, dismissive, and defiant. "You Bhutana, don't you ever call my company again." Pop calmly, indignantly, and smugly took the woman, put her back in the cab, and drove off. Mom fell to the ground. Mommy, did you die? Ma, here I am running from house to house ringing doorbells. I couldn't believe it. Please, can you help me? I think my mom died. The ambulance came, and thank God, she just hyperventilated and passed out. But all is well. She was going to be fine. We got home, and Pop got home about an hour later. Not a word was said. As a matter of fact, no words were said for like 3 days. Then, on the third day, I hear my mom's first words to my father. Joe, come and eat. Is that all there is? I mean, why was she cooking for him? Did he ever say he was sorry? Is this what love was all about? One day I came home from school for lunch. I never forget what she made me that day. It was a tuna fish sandwich, cut on a diagonal, no crust, and a bowl of tomato soup. Mom and I are hanging out in the kitchen, and all of a sudden we hear Pop's voice come over the CB radio. We hear him clearing his throat. We hear music in the background. For Christ's sakes, babe, your father put his hat down on the mic. Now we block the airwaves and nobody can get through. For Christ's sakes. We hear a horn beep. We hear Pop. Hey, how you doing? Fine, Joe. Boy, you're looking so beautiful today, huh? Oh, Joe. And Joe, you better stop leaving me pastries. I'm going to get fat. Oh, come on, I know you. You got a beautiful figure, huh? My tuna sandwich is now stuck in the back of my throat. I finally know what agita is. You know that feeling you get when you throw up a little bit in the back of your mouth and it starts to burn? I start to sweat while intently watching Mom. And then we hear Pop. Okay, I'll pick you up later tonight, huh? And to add insult to injury, we hear... There she goes. Mom starts pounding the table, the cabinets, the doors, the dishes. Now, I knew I was going to be late for school. I'm not going anywhere, except for maybe another death ride in the back of Mom's caddy. My brother was in his cab. He heard this shit. He came flying home, hoping that Mom didn't have the radio on. But when he walked in the house and he saw her face, he knew he was too late. Did you hear your father? Did you hear him? Before he could answer, Pop walks in. Black top coat, fedora, cigar hanging from his mouth. And Mom changed. She got all calm. Hi, Joe. Where were you? Hey, I went through the car. I thought I had a cigar down there. I don't know more. I had to go to the store buy the cigar. You friggin' guinea bastard. You left the microphone on, Joe. I heard everything. Who was she, huh? Who was she? Me? I dove behind the couch for fear of flying cookware. Pop stands up with all this great dignity, puts on his coat and his hat, and says, hey, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to take it this shit. You people all are crazy. Do they bats, huh? And left. That was it. And is that all there is? Why was she still with him? I mean, is this what love was all about? So for 3 days, silence. Then, on the third day, I hear my mom's first words to my father. Joe, come and eat. But all is well. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. It's been a week since my last confession. Everybody in my family went to Catholic school. Now it's my turn. Madonna school. Or as I like to call it, Our Lady of Perpetual Motion. Look, I hated the uniforms. I hated the masses. But mostly, I was afraid of the nuns. Until 6th grade. That was my transformation from being scared to being a rebel. In 6th grade, I had Sister Mary Hugh. She was 6 feet tall and pissed all the time. I still remember my first history project. Hey, Ma, you got a potato? Yeah, babe. Ma, you got a paper bag? Yeah. Ma, okay, look. Put the potato in the bag with the good knife. Why, babe? I need it for a project for school, Ma. Okay, babe, but don't forget the knife. It's the good one. I was assigned Anne Boleyn. You know, one of the wives of King Henry who got her head chopped off. All the other kids had moats and castles and shit, but because I was a little bit smarter than everybody else, all I needed was a fucking potato. I walked to the front of the class, hid the knife behind my back, put the potato on the table, and said, Anne Boleyn, the long and short of it. The potato went flying. The kids were hysterical. They loved it. Sister Sixfoot did not. She sent me to the principal's office. I had 2 brainy kids in my class. I have never forgotten their names. Rene Levasseur, and he was a boy. And Carol Ann Staluppi. Real nun kisses, you know? This day we were working on math, fractions to be exact. I hated fractions. I kept saying, Sister, please, if you could just show me why. I don't understand. So what does she do? She calls me to the board to solve the problem along with Carol Ann and Renee on either side of me. Oh, my God. Those 2 nun kisses attacked that problem like a bird eating a loaf of Italian bread. The clacking of the chalk was maddening. All of a sudden, they both take the chalk, put it down, and sit down at the same time. And there I was, creating the formula for hydrogen. I had so many signs and symbols, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And then I felt her presence behind me. Child, where were you when the Lord was giving out brains? Right in front of you, sister. Before I knew what was happening, she grabbed me by my hair and started banging it into the blackboard. When I sat down, I went to wipe what I thought was sweat, but it was blood. She banged my head so hard that my barrette got stuck in my head. And there I was in the principal's office. And Mom showed up, and she was pissed. Listen, sister, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you have a problem with my child, you're to call me. Do you understand? You're never to touch my child again. That day, I got to go home early. Ever since the beating of the head, Sister was pissed at me all the time. It was Christmas time. We had a live tree in our classroom. It was all decorated with candles, real candles, lights. So Sister decided she wanted to take a class picture. So she gets all the kids and gathers them around the floor by the tree, plugs the lights in, lights the candles, comes over and hands me a brownie Kodak camera. These are the kind of cameras you had to hold down here, look down into, and look up. So, I guess I wasn't going to be in the class picture. That's cool. So I start lining up the shot. Back up a little bit more, sister. Carol Ann, put your leg in. Go that way just a little bit. For a split second, my eye caught the flame of the candle and her veil. And I'm like, no. Back up just a little bit more, sister. Her veil went up like cotton candy. Oh, my God, she ran out into the hallway, dunked her head in the water fountain. There I was, waiting for the principal. Child, you are a descendant of the devil himself. And then Mom showed up, and she was pissed. But I finally heard the sentence I've been waiting for. Mrs. Maisano, we'd prefer if you take your daughter to public school as soon as possible. Thank God, I'm finally out of there. Oh, my God. Okay, look, I don't know. My grades were appalling, but I never got yelled at. Mom would yell a little bit, but Pop not once looked at any of my report cards. You know what? I think my family just wasn't into education. But boy, were they into family. This family of lies, deceit, false pride, entitlement, dysfunction, which is also a tradition. This family of do the right things. What would the neighbors say if they saw you wearing that? We lived by what Italians called figura. To save face, figura. But all is well. One by one, year after year, Pop would send for somebody in his family to come and live with us. It was amazing. They'd move into the basement, Mom would cook for them, Pop would find them a job. A year later, they'd move out, and another crew would move in. It was like living in a goddamn documentary. When my cousins came, they brought to me a whole new meaning, each one of them. Tina, Pina, Angelina, and the 4 Joes. Joe, Joey, Giuseppe, and little Joey. Angelina told me that she was promised. I later found out that promise meant your parents gave you to the man you were going to marry on the day you were born. Did you hear what I said? On the day you were born. You see, that means that your mom walked down the side of a mountain and gave your baby picture to a woman that had a baby boy. She gave her his picture, and that was it. That's who you're going to marry, whether you liked it or not. Look, there are some wonderful aspects of this Italian heritage, but that ain't one of them. Every night, relatives would sit around the kitchen table, and they'd talk about the old country, you know, the rolling farms and the ancient gnarled olive trees, the emotional music called opera, the art, Michelangelo, and the food. Oh, my God, the food. When my nonna arrived, she came with 3 suitcases stuffed with Reggiano Parmigiano, tuna packed in oil, olives, supersada, pignoli nuts, and 5 black dresses. Nonna was Pop's mom. She was a tiny but sturdy woman. And she had salt and pepper hair braided around her entire head. I would sit with her at night and watch her take her hair down slowly and methodically, undoing each strand until it seemed like her hair grew before my eyes. And then she'd get her glass of water and she'd tap it on the dresser. Maryann, bicchiere acqua, bicchiere acqua. A glass of water, Nonna. Bravo, bravo. Maryann, aborta, aborta. The door, Nonna, the door. Each one of us teaching each other our native tongue. You know, for some reason, out of all my siblings, I was the only one truly fascinated with my culture, with the exception of being promised to someone when I was born. But I guess if I had to pick someone, I'd have picked my brother. You see, my brother Joey was my hero. He gave me everything I wanted. He got me my first Lone Ranger outfit, guns and all. He looked like Elvis, sort of, gargled with brute cologne, wore 5 gold crucifixes, and he had a guitar that I'm never, ever allowed to touch, ever. He took me to the shore for my birthday, Seaside Heights, New Jersey. I was 12. We were at a game of chance, you know, the big wheel with all the numbers on it. Come on, Joe, give me a quarter. Come on. Please, bro. I take the quarter. I put it on number 30. Here we go. I won? I can have anything I want on the stand? I want the guitar. No, Joe, I don't want the TV. I want the guitar. I know I don't know how to play. I want the guitar. The next day, I bought all these music books. And every day when I got home from school, I went straight to my room to play my guitar. I played my guitar all day, every day, until finally I was able to play House of the Rising Sun. And I played it all the time. My mom was amazing. I can't tell you how many times she heard me sing and play this song, and not once did she ever say, "Oh, Maryann, please, can you learn another song, babe?" She would always say, "Oh, babe, Mommy loved that. That was beautiful." I put together a band, and We were playing dances, and Ma was my biggest fan. Pop, not so much. Mariana, what do you do with that guitar, you crazy hippie bastard, huh? You see, my pop was never loving with me, not in actions or in words. And at times I felt that Mom loved me too much, and Pop not enough. And I hated that he made me feel that way. Because you see, when he made my mom cry, I cried. When he called me, you crazy hippie bastard, I cried. When he said, go get a real job, I cried. But you know what? He was the only person that could make me cry. And I hated that. I fucking hated that. Because you see, for me, it was all about my guitar. My guitar was the only thing in my life that never hurt me. My guitar took away all the pain, all the anger, all the confusion, and all the agita. And then he finally does something nice to me. When I turned 17 years old, he got me my first car, a checker cab. Man, I thought I was hot shit driving down Main Street, you know? I pull up to a traffic light. I turn to see who's next to me. Fuck. It's Pop with his arm around some big blonde. I look at him. He looks at me. The light changes. We both go in different directions. When I got home, he was in the basement. Marianna, vieni qua. Marianna, you don't say nothing to Mommy that you saw Daddy today, huh? No, Pop, no. No, Marianna, you don't say nothing because you're going to make a Mommy sick. You want to make a Mommy sick, huh? No, Pop, no. Hey. Come here. Put a gas in the car. $20. Okay. I go upstairs, and there's Ma. Babe, what Daddy want? Nothing, Ma. Maryann, don't lie to me. He called you downstairs. What did he want? So I told her. She gave me $20. An hour later, they're going at it like the heads of the 5 families. And me? I'm up $40. That's when I decided to pay a visit to one of his gumads. I went to her house. I'm Maryann, Joe's taxi's daughter. Listen, no. There are 3 cab companies in this town. I don't want you using my father's company anymore. I know what's going on and you're killing my mother. Your husband? What? Where's your husband? A ship captain? Well, guess what? If you don't stop seeing my father, I'll come back here when he's home and I'll tell him everything that's going on. You got it? Stay away from my father. Oh, my God. I jumped in the car like a crazy person. And there it was again, the burning down my throat. God. When I got home, Pop already knew what happened. Mariana, where did you go, huh? What did you do, huh? You know what, Pop? I went to Loretta's and I told her to stop seeing you. I'm going to tell her husband. I thought he was going to kill me. Mom walked in to see what was going on, and there we were, face to face. You know what else, Pop? I tape recorded everything. In his ignorance, he thought he could have me arrested. Can you imagine wanting to have your own kid arrested? Mom started screaming and crying, and me, well, I just jumped in the car, and there it was again, the burning. So you probably figured out by now that Pop's thing was women. Big women, tall women, blondes, brunettes, Bumadas, Butanas. And Ma knew it and continued to ignore it. As much as it hurt her, she continued to ignore it. It would always be 3 days, and I'd hear, Joe, come and eat. But hey, this was our life. There's no place like home, right? All is well. But it wasn't. I was a wreck. I started getting all these bizarre ailments. I felt like I couldn't move my neck. I was afraid to be too far away from my house. My eye kept twitching all the time. And of course, agita. I was addicted to brioski. I kept it in the glove compartment. I would take it by the handful, throw it in my mouth, and watch it explode. It was like Italian pop rocks. I finally decided to pay a visit to the family doctor. Maryann, you have a wonderful family, but they have lots of drama. You know, you think you can save your mama, Bella, but you cannot. I know you live upstairs, a two-family house, but every time you hear something, you run. That's why you get all these things, capisco, huh? You know what you should do, Bella? Move out. If you move out, all these go away, huh? Oh my God. This little old doctor was the turning point in my life that gave me the answer. And you know what? I did just that. I detached from it all. I moved out. I didn't see much of them at all. And guess what? No more Agita. No family up my ass, no drama. I'm a real artiste now, you know? Full-time musician and all. Yeah, I had two bands. One's a rock band, the other's a wedding band. I was having a blast. I thought I was Janis Joplin. Southern Comfort replaced the Brioski in the glove compartment. One night, my band was playing this wedding, and I was so bored. You have no idea what it's like singing Streisand's Evergreen for like 1,000 times. And then during the cocktail hour, we always had to play this nondescript kind of music. And I kept telling the guys in the band, listen, nobody listens to what we sing during cocktail hour. But they don't believe me. So the song starts all soft and bossa-like. She was tall, she was hot, she was tan. She was tall, she was hot, she was tan. And she walked on down from the aisle of Ipanema with a big straw hat and her dildo named Sam. Oh my God, the guys in the band were hysterical. They were on the floor. And everybody in the audience was eating their shrimp like everything was fine in Ipanema. After the days of live bands phased out, a new evolution of music took over. Folk. Yup. Just me and my guitar. I booked my first solo gig at a local restaurant. It was freaky, you know, like no drums, no band, nobody but me. Hey, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight and supporting live music. And I'd like to do the first song I ever learned how to play on this guitar, House of the Rising Sun. Oh my God. Nobody was listening. Everybody was talking. I could hear all their conversations. Oh my God, I stepped out of my body and I saw the sweat pouring down my face. Jeez, this was the longest fucking song in history. And when I finished, nothing. No applause, nothing. And there it was again, my old friend. I swung my guitar around my back and I started talking about the restaurant, the decor, everything, anything. Hey, you guys married? Oh, first date? He's buying dinner? Well, somebody's optimistic. I talked for 30 minutes straight. They were listening. They were in the zone. And that's when I said to them, I'd like to sing another song for you. But this song happens to be an original. And I knew that they'd all assume that I was singing to a man. And I knew I couldn't say he for myself. And I knew I couldn't say she for them. It was like a river running through me and you. I know that you feel this too. When you held me in your arms, it was like a river running through you. One look in your eyes there just makes me fall to my knees, yeah. And this way of ours, oh, is a once in a lifetime thing, yeah. I'd rather spend a moment with you than a lifetime with somebody else. Oh, well. I'd rather spend a moment with you than a lifetime with somebody else. You know, I think my first album should be titled Love. Fuck pronouns. But that's how comedy happened. It was easy. I just started telling stories about my family. Speaking of my family, I made a big mistake. I went home for a visit. Maryann, when are you going to get the real job and at the benefits, huh? You know what, Pop? You don't think I could do shit. Watch this. I march into a local bank, and I get a job as a teller. Well, the mistake they made was they gave me the drive-up window. It had a microphone. That was it. Hey, John, how you doing? Oh, you want this enlarged? Oh, cool. All right. Oh, yeah, no, we're going to be down there Wednesday night. I got a new drummer. You're going to love him. Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, we do that song. It's a cool blues song. You want to sit in with us? Oh, you want me to? I'll do it for you, sure. You want me to do it now? Okay. I don't care if my heart's on the line. All I know is your love makes me lose my mind. Oh, baby, I love how you kiss me. Ooh, make my legs get weaker, my heart skips a beat. But I love how you kiss me. Here you go, John. Take care. I'll see you Wednesday night, okay? No problem. Take it easy. Oh, hey, Mrs. Aiello, how are you? So nice to see you. Did you break the piggy bank again? Were you up rolling these pennies? I got it. Don't worry about it. You want me to sing your song? Of course I'll sing your song. Well, you got to sing it with me this time, okay? All right, come on. You ready? Come on, let's go, Miss Aiello. Let's do it. All right, don't be shy now, Mrs. Aiello. Just sing it out, okay? I saw you in a dark and crowded room, an elusive glance you gave in the city of light. There you were, in a moment you were gone, but your vision lingered on in the city of light. Take care, Mrs. Aiello. I'll see you next week. All right, be good. Don't break the bank again. Yeah. All the drive-up customers loved the show. Until I broke the mic. So then they promoted me to accounting. I guess they didn't want me to break any more shit. And that's when I began to question my own mortality in this entertainment business. You see, the last thing I wanted to do was end up being 65 years old in a sequin gown singing Misty in the Poconos. So I stayed in banking and became accidentally successful. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. I wasn't performing anymore. I hadn't written a song in 10 years. My days were filled with politics and boardrooms, and the only audience I had was my sales team for motivational seminars. But I showed pop, didn't I? Yeah. I was vice president of sales. In 2006, I was given a seminar to one of my teams. You know, do the right thing, follow your passions, drink the Kool-Aid. Good morning, how are you? Great. By a show of hands, how many of you knew that you wanted to be a banker when you grew up? Yeah, surprise, nobody, of course not. You wanted to be a ballerina or a fireman. Listen, the financial world has changed. If you had a passion, you had better find it again. I knew when I was 5 years old that I wanted to be a performer. And that's when it hit me. I heard the words coming out of my mouth. I wasn't following my own passions. The next day I drove straight to the CEO's office. I walked in and I said, thank you, but I can't do this anymore. That day, I walked away from a 6-figure position to finally follow my dreams. The next day I met my sisters for lunch. It was funny, when I told them that I resigned, they went crazy. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with you? Something wrong in the head? Are you crazy? You walked away from all that money? I can't believe it. But as soon as the food came, they forgot all about it and started to reminisce. And they'd go on with these stories, and then they would just stop in the middle and look at me and go, "Member?" And I would always say, "No. I didn't remember much of anything. I guess I really did shut down and protect myself. I was real cozy in my new world. So proud that I rescued me. Until I started dating. Everybody I dated was unavailable. I was always dating pop. Then the ones that were available, I became unavailable. You know, come here, go away. Felt normal to me. You know, comfortable, what I'm used to. Like Ma. But I'm not Ma. I was different. I knew something was up with me at a very young age. I didn't know what it was. But all I knew, every time my sister brought over one of her friends who was a majorette, she would walk into the room and I would turn and... At first I thought it was a uniform. But then when she came over in regular clothes, she would walk in the room and I would turn and... Oh my God! I'm gay! It wasn't until 8th grade that I found the one. All right, I know I was a little too young for these antics, but I was an old soul. And that's when I looked at love from both sides now. And still somehow, I had to date boys, or my very Italian family would have disowned me. And so the dance of schizophrenic dating began. And went on and on, until finally I said, enough! I told my family, I'm gay.
Maryann, if this is what you want, you're no longer my daughter. If you leave this house, I disown you. Well, I left. 3 days later, she called. Right on schedule. Babe, it's Mommy. Come and eat. I made your favorite dinner. And, well, all was well. And, she and my family were very supportive of me until my niece came out. Because, you see, whoever comes out first in your family, you're always going to be blamed for anybody else that comes out after you. But I was finally living my truth. But I had all the pop shit. Bad behavior, can't commit, no consistency. Holy shit, I am my father. Then I thought about the rest of them. By this time, my brother Joey was divorced from his second wife. My sister Ro was divorced from her second husband. And my sister Angie remains married in one of the most horrifying relationships I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I thought maybe I could use a shrink. But only an Italian one. Who else is going to understand this shit? Where's the shrink? Oh my God. Sounds like a babbling brook in here. I mean, do they really think the sound of a brook is going to keep me calm? Great. Now I gotta pee. Look, I can't tell anybody in my family I'm here. I can hear it now. Maryann, we don't do these type of things, huh? You got a problem, you come and sit at the table, we talking nice and nice, huh? Look, I picked this shrink because he lived across the street from me. And he was 10 years older, and I figured he knew everything that went on. It would just make my life a little fucking easier. Dr. Joe? Hi. Oh, thanks. You look great, too. Sit over here? Okay. Oh, this is low. You do this to everybody? Hi. I say nothing. He says nothing. And then slowly some words start to come out. And this crazy little thing called therapy began. The layers, the drama, the thought of somebody cheating on me, the thought of me living with it and making it a part of my life. Look, I know it sucked dating me. Even Dr. Joe knew it. One day I'm mom, the next day I'm pop. I'm in and out of so many relationships for fear of commitment. And I'm afraid, and I'm never going to be able to love at all. And then one day it just came to me, this clear understanding. And there I was with all this new understanding, and nobody had home to share it with. I don't know what's worse. Not being able to give and let go, or not being able to find someone you can let go with.
By this time, online dating was all the rage.
And I'm a hopeful romantic looking for love on all the wrong websites. Yeah, I have a rule. I'll meet you for a drink, but only for 30 minutes. I swear to God, I think I fucking invented speed dating. What? What if you like me, I would hear from these women. Then Dr. Joe's little head would pop up. And I'd get all eloquent and shit. Oh, please, it's not about me liking you. It's about you liking me, I would say. And I don't see committing time for dinner when you might be sitting there counting the seconds for the check to arrive. And furthermore, if we're really interested in each other, we can meet again, right? Is he shrinking? Got me thinking. If all this shit made me the way I am and I'm the youngest, what must have happened to the rest of them? By this time, my brother Joey just kind of walked in his life in a different way. And my two sisters are a mess.
My one sister is both Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche Dubois. I'll worry about it tomorrow. And I've always grown accustomed to the kindness of strangers. And God bless her, she finally found her Tara. She met some Italian guy that lives in a mansion in Tennessee. Good job, Blanche. Now she can't figure out how to get the fuck back home. My other sister, she's Mildred Pierce. I love you kids, and I'm sorry. I want you to be happy. I'll buy you everything and anything you want. I'm sorry. My brother Joey, he's Vincent Gardenia, a handsome man that turned into the father from Moonstruck. Not the hero I remembered. My hero turned into a manipulative, macho, nasty old man. Never knew when to fold him, never knew when to hold him. Yup, a gambler to boot. When Pop turned him down for money, he went to Ma. She always gave in. Lifetimes of Agita. Her self-respect was in the toilet too. But I must have been addicted to Agita. Because I call my mother every day. Well, Monday through Friday. I took the weekends off. Mom told me that Pop needed an operation, something on his neck. So we all went over to Mom's to do what every Italian family does before an event. Eat. Don't worry, Pop, everything's going to be okay, all right? Don't worry. Yeah, it's going to be good, Pop, okay? Take care, we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, we'll see you tomorrow, Pop. Well, tomorrow turned into 3 weeks, which left him barely able to speak and eating through a feeding tube. I continued to visit him at home. Hey, Pop, how you doing? What are you looking at? You see something up there? Oh, come on, Pop, there's nothing up there. What do I say to this man who's fading before my eyes? All I could ever think about was the pain I felt any time I thought of him. And not once did he ever say, Maryann, I love you. Who are you smiling at? You see somebody at the door? There's nobody there, Pop. Come on, it's okay. It's okay. What? You want me to sing for you? A canzone italiana? An Italian song? So I sang Malafemmina. While I was singing, he squeezed my hand so tight. It's okay, Pop. It's okay. I love you, Pop. What? Maryann, I love you too. Ma, call the ambulance. Well, the next day, Pop was gone. We all went over to Mom's to do the things you do when somebody dies, and of course, eat. Mom asked me to call my father's relatives, because I was the only one that could manage a little bit of Italian. Zia Maria, scusate, sono Marianna, fratello sono morta. Oh, Marianna, what happened to your brother? What do you mean to your brother? Oh, no, mio padre, geez, my Italian sucked. Then Ma had some more bad news for me. Babe, Mommy wants you to do the eulogy at the funeral parlor. Oh, great. Now what the fuck am I going to do? More friggin' agita. Left to my own devices, I figured I'd better go home and write something, because who knows what will come out of my mouth. Oh, Jesus God. So I went home and I wrote this lovely little piece on how everybody loved him, the neighbors and the children and so on. And okay, so picture it. I'm at the funeral parlor. It's a packed house, standing room only, sold out. There I am, center parlor. All eyes on me and my crumpled speech in my hand. I want to thank you all, excuse me, for coming out this evening. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about my dad. Look, most of the folks in here knew about the relationship or lack thereof between me and Pop. They also knew how he conducted his life. My dad, Those of you that know me know that my dad and I didn't have the best relationship. But you know what? I realized something very important tonight. I realized that I loved my father, that he was warm, funny, charming, charismatic, a generous man, and that mostly I forgive him. You know what? It all just came to me in that instant. Look, I didn't say he was right. I said I forgave him. Hey, he didn't cheat on me. And this behavior was also inherent in his culture. It's not for me to judge. 16 years later, Mom got sick. It seemed like the entire month of May was a blur. She was in and out of the hospital 3 times that month. When we finally got her home, each day was a slow decline. At first, it wasn't that bad, you know. I'd go and sit by her bed, and I'd sing and play my guitar, and she would smile, and those eyes would twinkle, and she would say, "Oh, babe, Mommy's so proud of you." And then me and my sisters, we started reminiscing and telling all these stories when we were little. I mean, we didn't even remember half of the things. It was so funny. It was great, you know. It was like, "Hey, Ma, remember that time we went to that store, me, you, and Angie? Oh, Ma, what's the name of that? Oh, Corvettes. Remember we went? Yeah, and we go walking down the first aisle, and all of a sudden this box jumped off the shelf and hit Angie on the head." Yeah, she's dopey. Angie, you're dopey. Yeah, I mean, it was great. Like, we just did that every day. And then one day I got there, and she wasn't smiling anymore. She wasn't talking, and it was like she was sleeping all the time. Mommy, remember that time we went to the boat basin, Ma? Ma, we went to see the tall ships, Ma, remember? Ma, it was me and you. We slept in my car overnight. Remember, Ma? Daddy bought us sandwiches. Ma, don't you remember? Look, I was the fixer and I couldn't fix this. I drove straight to the church and I lit a candle at the feet of the Blessed Mother. Dear God, if she's going to rally, let her rally. If not, please take her home. The next day I went to the funeral parlor to make arrangements for this event that had not even happened yet. I walked out with a contract in my hand, and my phone rang. Mommy's gone. I'm never going to see her face anymore. I'm never going to see that smile. I'm never going to hear her say, "Babe, Mommy loves you so much." Because you see, when she looked at you, she made you feel like you were the only person in the entire world. And that's when the fun began. What? What do you mean we don't have any money? That's when I found out my brother took Mom's money and kept betting it on the wrong horse. The next day, we had a meeting with the funeral director. "Listen, your case got to be here Tuesday with a check for $9,700 or cash. Otherwise, we got to wait." Wait? This ass is holding my mother hostage. I went home and I left all these messages at all these funeral parlors. Finally, this guy calls me back. His name was Vinny. That's when I knew I was in good hands. And then he says, "Listen, I'm not worried about your money. I'm worried about your mother." That's all I needed to hear. "Vinny, go get my mother." Many miracles happened that day. Later that day, I got a call from Vinny letting me know that an anonymous donor paid off the funeral. It was one of the families from Italy that my father brought over. It was little Joey. He said to me, "Look, if it wasn't for your mom and dad, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have all that we have. My God, I fell to my knees and started to cry. I knew my mom was up there saying, Joe, we can't leave these kids with this burden. That was also the day I realized I'm no longer anyone's kid. It's a really odd feeling, but yet empowering in some kind of strange way. Look, don't get me wrong. I love my family, but they make it so hard to love them. And I'm pissed. No, I'm enraged that they just went on about life thinking that all was well. And then I had to spend all this fucking money on a shrink. And they're like, no, I don't have a problem. Everything's good. All is well. Well, now Pop's gone and Mom's gone. And it's just us dysfunctional kids to keep the family and traditions going. You know, one day my niece Dee said to me, you know, Meme. Oh, they call me Meme. You know, Meme, you don't always have to be the Michael Corleone of the family. At first I thought that was very funny. But after further contemplation, I realized she was right. I was Mikey. You see, when the going got tough, they all came to me. And I took care of everything. Now remember, I'm the youngest of four. I'm the baby. And yet they came to me. I would run to Rose's house when her ex-husband was trying to steal her car. I would run to Angie's house when she was getting beat up by her husband, Gino. I would run when my nieces called me crying because they were in a closet and they saw their mom being dragged across the floor by her hair. One day, I called the cops. I reported Gino. Me, Mikey. I did the unthinkable. I went outside the family for help. My God, somebody help me, please. You know, I used to believe that music and comedy saved me. But it wasn't just music and comedy. It was you. You. You people saved me. I'm living in my own sitcom with no residuals. But hey, my relationships weren't much better. In 2006, I met who I thought could be the love of my life. She was sometimes a little bit like my father, and all the times like my mother. And then she would reverse it in an instant. She was the poster child for every psychological disorder. Bipolar? Yes. Narcissist? A selfie. Manic? Absolutely. It was like dating Sybil. But not one of those personalities was a lesbian. And she was horrible. She would just say the most terrible, horrible things, so hurtful. I mean, is this what love was all about? And you could see her mood change. Her face would turn into a Picasso painting. Her eyes were down here. Her nose was up there. And she'd create all this drama and havoc and then say, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I love you. Come on. Come on. And, well, you know, all was well. My friends would call every weekend. And rather than say, hey, how was your weekend? They would always say, how'd it go? She had this gay ex-husband that she's all in the Kool-Aid over. I swear to God, I'm sure she still is to this day. You have any idea what it's like standing online in a grocery store? And she would turn around and say, Vince, can you hold this for me? What did you fucking call me? Are you kidding me? Oh, honey, I didn't mean that. I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. Why was I still with her? Is this what love was all about? And that's when I finally understood my mother and her version of love. One day she called me and said, I want to read my will to you. I'd like you to sprinkle some of my ashes over my garden in France. Oh, and then I'd like you to give Vince some. This way I could be buried with him and his boyfriend in that very famous cemetery in the Hamptons. Oh, you know, where Jackson Pollock is buried. It was madness, but it felt like Daddy. But guess what? After being in a relationship for 10 years and realizing that I had not evolved away from this elusive type of love, I just let go. It was that simple. I just let go. You know, they always say one day it just hits you and you're done. But you know, I always thought it would be some major argument or some huge blowout that would push me over the edge. But instead, of all things, it was a Facebook thread of hers that I was on. And I get a notification, and she writes, Vince, please read the email I sent you about my sofa. I need for you to pick out which one I should get. And that's when I discovered she never really envisioned me on her sofa or anywhere else in her life, for that matter. And that's the day that I realized that I needed more, that I deserved more. And that was the day I finally left home. All is well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, guys. I love it. Thank you. Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I love you. 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 Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.